You chilly? Is that the sound of Ross warming his hands? Yeah.
It is.
It sure is.
What did you think it was a sound of?
I was trying.
You were hoping that's what it was.
I'm only sitting 2.5 feet away from Ross, but I was using my mind's eye, wondering what is he doing?
Hey, I'm a bit of a madman. Look at the skin.
Short sleeves.
A lot of skin in here today.
Behind the scenes, inside the business, we had to go outside and shoot a promo today.
The Protector.
The Protector. We went out and spent some time with the truck, and since these promos air year-round,
when it's like 90 degrees,
you'll be seeing us in short sleeves in the summertime with the truck, but it was very, very, very cold on the river.
Would you prefer to have shot it in the cold like we did today?
Yeah.
Or like in
sweltering
the
heat?
Dead heat of summer?
Great question. What we did today.
Yeah,
Because
I would agree.
if you do it in the dead of summer, you're dealing with just sweat rolling down your eyes. You're going to get pit stains. It's you're going to have to it's going to take longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas today, you the cold.
Dab the forehead.
Exactly. And the cold makes you more efficient. Everybody there wants to.
Because you don't want to be on the cold much longer.
Right. But the heat, everybody has to slow thing. You slow down. You think slower. I don't know. Maybe that's. But yeah, and the best part about it, it's done. So we're done. Thank God. But it was cold out there. The original plan was us being out there in short sleeves at 9 a.m. But cooler heads, smarter heads prevailed there.
Push that back.
And pushed it on back. So that's why Ross is in short sleeves. We just finished up with that. I had a chance to Clark Kent it and get in the suit real quick, but getting ready for the 5. But let's get into it. Sometimes we'll get in this room, and it's like, what are we going to talk about for a half hour? So we'll come up with segments like at Christmas time when it was really quiet.
We do.
We had movies. We had songs.
I miss those days a little bit.
I do too, because now we're earning the paycheck. There is plenty to talk about in the world of weather all around the country and here along the First Coast over the next week.
Yeah, I mean, the deep chill has fully set in here on the First Coast and across the rest of the country. We covered a lot of the snow, across the southern plains, through the Tennessee and Mississippi River valleys, mid-Atlantic, northeast, through most of the weekend, especially Sunday. The snowpacks are generally still intact. You've noticed kind of down across Texas and Oklahoma, there have been a lot of sunny days the past 2 days.
Sure.
Actually, I say a lot. It's been 2. But you get a little bit of higher sun angle down there. The snow will melt a little bit faster. It doesn't typically stick around, even with how cold of air is still there. Yeah. So it's melted a little bit there. Now, of course, a lot more ice from kind of Mississippi and northern Alabama up through Tennessee. But the snowpack, fully holding on up across the mid-Atlantic there and northeast.
And keeping things frigid. So you saw like St. Louis. And what happens when you've got that snowpack on the ground like that? You've got sunlight reflecting right back off.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you don't get whatever sun angle you do have. When you've got a thick snowpack, again, St. Louis has been frigid, and it even feels much colder. You just don't warm up that much because any sunlight just bounces right back off anyway. But a much different picture. We were trying to show snowpack, I remember, around Christmas. Like, where could you go to find a white Christmas? It was like Great Lakes and up near Buffalo.
Go to Minnesota.
Right. Maybe West Virginia if you're lucky, but that was it. And what a difference it is now. We had been talking about some of the spots around our country and around the South that got kind of the worst of it. If we just draw our eyes to a couple of numbers, lovely Crested Butte, 23 inch. 23, couple of feet. But where my mind goes, I look at the freezing rain and that inch amount, and even 3/4 of an inch. I mean, that's where we saw
crippling ice.
Crippling. Yeah, that word gets thrown around a little bit when you talk about winter storms like this, and quite literally meaning power outages. And many folks still are without power. A lot up in, getting a lot of reports, Tennessee.
I was going to say Lee Southwick mentioned that she had like a family friend up there, right? Yeah. That has been without power, and she's pregnant.
Nashville, I think that was Asheville, North Carolina. Maybe. I know she had mentioned somebody in Asheville and then somebody in Nashville.
Okay. They sound very similar.
Couple of friends.
It was cold. My ears don't work as well in the cold, apparently.
She's got friends everywhere. Unlike myself, I keep it my circle
close-knit here.
And that's not intentional. It's just the way my friends are made.
We got.
All we got. All we need. All we got's all we need. et cetera, et cetera. But
Sorry, what were you saying though?
no, just the point being, we had JEA originally send a crew up towards Myrtle Beach area, and power outages weren't quite as bad for that at least area in the Carolinas, but quickly shifted over into Tennessee. So we know they were still dealing with a lot of power outages. But yeah, impressive numbers for sure.
Thankfully, we do not have to deal with that.
No, we don't. Beautiful blue skies.
It looks picturesque.
Deceiving. It looks nice.
Just doesn't
as the
necessarily
construction
feel that great.
Continues. There we go. Currents.
Hey, and there's that 50.
We did hit 50.
Round of applause for hitting 50.
This is funny. It is so funny that we did hit it because I'm checking my numbers. Of course, we forecast 50, and we're checking numbers all day long. Like, oh, are we going to do it? Are we going to bust? Are we going to make it? And we actually scraped 50.
And you were spot on. I mean, you said yesterday at this time that we were going to spend the vast majority of the day in the 40s.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Happened.
We were going to hit 50 for, maybe 30 or 45 minutes, and that was it.
Something psychological about that number. Okay, so you got a whole other tens place that you hit. If that high temperature was 49, you'd be saying to yourself, oh, we were in the 40s. Never got out. But with 50, we can say, okay, well,
it's like a new milestone.
New milestone. There we go. But it was pretty chilly. Wind's variable. We're seeing west, we're seeing north, even out towards the beach, we're seeing some east. But we had the wind chills this morning. Wind started to relax a little bit.
Yeah, so wind chill's not as big of an issue.
Not as
this
big
evening
of an issue.
or tonight.
Air temperatures will be, and thusly the physics of the magical miracle molecule will certainly come into play. I'm sorry,
magical miracle.
It's one of the things that took away from our old friend Tim Deegan. Always the miracle molecule, H2O, talking about our water, and we got to get 32. I don't care if you're 34 degrees and the wind chill is 20. The water won't freeze. Doesn't work like that. So, but what's going to happen with those freeze warnings? We're going to have some areas with temperatures in those mid and upper 20s. So another hard freeze potential for some. Another night of protecting plants for sure. But you've already done that, right? You did it last night. You needed to. I'm sure those sheets or whatever you've got over your hydrangeas are still right there.
So a lot of evenings I will forget. Although we do have like a screened-in porch, so I feel like that protects them against the frost most of the time.
Yep. Yeah,
but,
I think so too.
And I think there is a true science of that it does. Mm-hmm. But I knew how cold it was going to be this morning, so I did pull one of my more sensitive plants in behind one of the other ones, and I took the dog bed and piled it up over top because I knew I would catch all types of from the woman.
Yeah.
If I use any sheets. Well, no.
Don't use
using sheets or blanket. Yeah, I was like,
you got to have special sheets for that.
Yeah, what am I going to use? And I was like, if I use a trash bag, she's going to yell at me for using a trash bag unnecessarily.
Those aren't cheap.
Exactly. So I'm like, the dog bed will have to do. And it worked.
And also the plastic, there's some science behind, it doesn't breathe as well.
Yeah. So I still had some airflow in there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
God bless you.
My little tent.
What kind can you expound on the plant? What sensitive plant do you have? Do you know what it is? Or is it just a plant that your girlfriend
So I actually got gifted this plant from one of the nurseries that I went live at from here.
Oh, nice.
A while ago.
Okay. So nice. Is it a blooming flower plant?
No, just a little leafy thing. It started out pretty slow. It does much better in the summer than it does in the winter.
I'm
That's
sure,
why I call it sensitive.
Me. Yeah, very sensitive.
Actually, I should name him Lewis. Little sensitive
sensitive plant. Well, Ross is the sensitive one here. He puts off a very tough exterior, but it's
soft on the inside.
With the sensitive plants. Protect them again tonight. But the wind chill's not as much of an issue. Still weather impact alert.
What do you think about a freeze for the beach? Yes, no?
I think we're seeing 33 on St. Simon's. That's my eyeballs. So I look at Glenn County, Coastal Glen, those beaches, seeing the freeze, although this map, which has taken some model data into it, saying 33. I wouldn't be surprised there. Maybe not Jack's Beach.
Yeah.
Maybe holding off just a bit.
Okay.
There on the freeze for a second morning in a row. But more is to come for you. You do have more frigid air coming, so beaches don't need to relax just yet. So one weather impact alert here in the books that we'll get through Wednesday morning, but more to talk about as we get closer to the weekend. So stay with us. We'll break all that down for you after this short break.
Welcome back in, folks. We, as you mentioned before we left, Lou, we kind of got through the first weather impact alert of this week, or at least we've covered it.
Yep.
With regards to the cold air on the way tomorrow. We do have more on the way over the coming days, but we're going to have a very gradual warm-up. I want to say warm-up very lightly, kind of each afternoon here to the end of the week. We will be warmer each day, but it's still not going to feel actually warm outside. So the kiddos out at the bus stop tomorrow, you still need to have them bundled up. It's going to feel very similar to what today felt like. By the afternoon, that temperature is wrong. It should be in like the mid to upper 50s.
Yeah. But
I mean, I think I have that's better
57.
there. 57.
Still below seasonable, which 66 is normal, and we're not going to get that this week. I mean, we'll get to maybe the lower 60s as we approach, the end of the week. But I mean, it's another day. We had a freeze this morning. We'll have a freeze tomorrow morning. Thursday, another freeze. Why no weather impact alert for our Thursday morning? We draw the line. Really at that 27 kind of magic number. That's when the city activates different initiatives for taking care of folks who need warmth with warming shelters, things like that. It's when JEA suspends, cutting power. So that's kind of the magic number there. But there's your Friday, warmest day of the week, still below seasonable. It's going to feel nice, relatively speaking, but the bottom kind of falls out yet again. We've got a pretty complex system setting up for Friday into Saturday, and kind of leaving us by Sunday, but ushering in some extraordinarily cold air straight out of the poles.
I feel like we keep saying, "Oh, this is going to be the coldest air of the year," and then we re-up it, or one up it maybe by the next weekend. Of like, actually,
so far,
wait, we have another.
Yeah, just coldest air of the year so far. Now beating this one, that would get us into, because even with this cold air, we're going to probably break some records in both the low temperatures in the morning, but also our high temperatures in the afternoon, meaning coldest highs. So certainly, so if we get another one of these in a week's time or whatever, where we have to say, hey, coldest air of the winter, now we're talking about scraping some all-time records, because
the day after tomorrow.
Right, truly, because this past outbreak, the coldest we've seen, with a freeze all the way to the beach, and now the next winter storm. So little clipper, a little area low pressure, trying to get its gears together in the Gulf, reemerging on the Atlantic side, and that's where the terminology, and this is not trying to be catchy or grabby, but it's called bombing out. It's when the central pressure, one of these areas of low pressure, kind of drops quickly, very rapid drop. To pressure levels that will be as low, completely different dynamics, but would be as low as a hurricane. All right, so
which hurricanes are warm core lows. This is a cold core low.
Cold core, completely different, mechanism driving this. But low pressure, meaning tighter pressure gradients, meaning everything rushes from high to low. You see the tight concentric circles indicating, if nothing else, strong winds coming out of the north, pushing in all that cold Siberian express air we showed you in the first graphic, coming in from up top and surging down below. This would be more of a surface low. So we watched the snow potential. So let's kind of dive into that, because I think that's the thing a lot of people will be seeing. Potential forecasts for local snow. What do we think? Snow certainly in the Carolinas and the Outer Banks. That's been fairly consistent. But, we have seen model runs signaling some sort of wintry precip. And in this case,
and that's the GFS right there,
right,
that we were showing.
In this case, we're going to worry less about like a frozen rain or ice event.
Correct.
And for the southeast, and more snow dynamic here. Three potential outcomes, many different outcomes, but these are the three kind of that we would highlight. And one seems pretty unlikely at this point. All right, the more northern track, because most modeling does have this coming right over the peninsula and staying in the Atlantic. But that first scenario, kind of a better case scenario for those who don't want to see snow, right?
Oh, here.
Here. That third case scenario, a little bit further east, would be very minimal impacts at all.
Because it takes most of the moisture away from us.
Correct.
And that cold, densely dry air gets wrapped around the backside, really limits any rain or snow chances here. So our overall snow chances and probabilities would go down. And then that middle track, Lou, is kind of what the GFS American model was showing, kind of skirting right up along the eastern seaboard. Overall, this is the best chance for coastal snow, not necessarily for us, but for a lot of folks kind of up and down the eastern seaboard, especially for the Carolinas, perhaps mid-Atlantic.
What would have to, okay, so with that track, essentially, with the low more or less having to traverse over Jacksonville to kind of be far enough west, still over ocean, to bring snow to the Carolinas. The way that's oriented to Jacksonville, I just don't know if there's enough fetch of moisture to pump in enough to fight off that dry air, even at that position. With the orientation coming directly across the state. Now, if this was a low, kind of a Bahamas clipper, like a low that developed southeast Florida and kind of skirted up through the Gulf Stream that way, maybe a little different.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I was even thinking like starting from Fort Myers and coming
up that way. Yeah. But still, the scenario that we would need to see any sort of snowflake falling would be that second kind of track there, kind of the Goldilocks zone. And, early in the game, lots can happen. My current thought, if you're asking for kind of a forecast, is there very well could be in inland southeast Georgia the chance of a couple of flakes flying. But what really seems most likely is on your radar apps, if you've got the First Coast News app and you're using radar, maybe seeing a couple of kind of those snow returns, but high up in the atmosphere to where it's hitting middle levels, lower level, and just evaporating.
Yeah, because the air is so dry.
Yeah, that low is going to act because that Siberian air, extraordinarily dry.
Yeah.
Right, you've got to have just a fire hydrant hose of moisture pumping into that. And with that low, it's going to be doing kind of two things. While trying to wrap around the moisture, it's also going to be pulling in that dry air. I just have a hard time believing it at this point.
This is a different setup than what we saw this past weekend for a lot of folks.
Correct.
And specifically for here, the dynamics really aren't super conducive for snow here. The moisture is really what's going to be lacking, at least here on the First Coast, once the cold air arrives.
But plenty of it for the Carolinas
Yeah.
and places like the Outer Banks. Seeing a lot, and that's why we're seeing 3 to 5 days out timing storm type. We certainly are picking up more on snow for parts of coastal Carolinas. We have a huge event. Part of the reason why we've got weather impact alerts for Sunday, we got to get into the Donna weekend and your weekend forecast with some more frigid air on the way. We'll do that right after this short break, so stay with us.
Lew, do you have your running legs ready to go? Have you stretched? Have
You're
you
out of your-
limbered up a little bit?
Absolutely out of your mind. It's so funny. Donna was one of those marathons. We used to cover we would have hours and hours and hours of live coverage. Those weekends, and I was out there live. And some about that weekend, you get out there, you cover it, and it's like, next year's the year. I'm doing it. I'm at least going to do the half. I can get myself to it, and it's never happened.
Yeah.
And I have just gone ahead, and those things on a list you want to accomplish in life, I've already taken. I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah, you don't have any desire at this
Nope.
point. You told me you've done 5Ks, and you're good at that.
I'm good at that.
Yeah. You don't
Then
need that.
that's all I need.
Yeah.
It's like learning to play the harmonica. Don't need to do it anymore. I'm good. I can go the rest of my life. If I never learn to play the harmonica, I'll be fine.
Couldn't give a few more blows into that
Not done.
instrument?
Just done with it.
I feel like you're missing out.
Do you know how to play?
A little bit, yeah.
The harmonic? Really?
Yeah.
Renaissance man.
Yeah, like
Over
the
here.
numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8, 9, 10.
Okay. That guy, my man
Yeah.
can count to 10. He got through Penn State Meteorology School, and he can count to 10 on the harmonica, if that's even how it works. I don't know. But again, those who run, I know Spetta's going to be out there. This is just the five. I say just. Let me apologize. I don't mean that. It's like when I say just the half marathon. Oh, you're just doing the half marathon, and then like somebody like slaps me with emotion. I don't mean it like that. But there is a 26.2, and then there's people who are finishing up ultras. But Saturday's big day, walking, running, all the things. So cold. And Sunday for the main event, frigid.
Welcome to the main event.
The main event. Bong, bong, bong.
In the blue corner.
Well, the blue corner would be Saturday, not quite.
In the red corner.
And then Sundays in your red corner with temperatures in the, low 20s, teens, parts of inland southeast Georgia, wind chills.
A rough day for runners out there.
Yeah, and I was talking again to Tim Deegan, old buddy, who's a runner and does this, as you can imagine. He's involved.
Yes, very much.
I was asking, what are your suggestions? What's your advice for folks? He goes, for the runners will be fine. It's the volunteers. It's the people working the event out there for 12, 13 hours, setting up hours beforehand and then breaking down hours afterwards where you have got some issues. So please, everybody's got a bundle. Anybody's going to be out there, extra layers. And just know, as you run the marathon, any article of clothing that's kind of one of the traditions, you just leave it on the course and it gets picked up and donated. So it goes to a good cause if you can't have somebody come and pick it up for you.
See, I agree with him, but also, because I run, but not like marathon running. When you get that cold and real dry air, that does something to you. Starts to burn. You do a little bit more like kind of coughing, gets a little makes your throat feel weird.
Yeah.
So do I think